The November the 1st, 2022, believe it or not, meeting of the Newberry County Board of Zoning Appeals will come to order. We do have a quorum. If you intend to speak tonight, ask that you sign in with Ms. Bridget if you haven't already. I'd also ask that you disable the audible function of your communicator so as not to interrupt the meeting. And if you do speak, or if you don't speak, consider yourself under oath. The format for tonight's meeting will be as follows. I'll read the statement of the matter to be heard, and we'll then have a staff presentation from Mr. Hicks, then a presentation by the applicant limited to 5 minutes, then a presentation in support of the application limited to 5 minutes, presentation in opposition if there is any limited to 5 minutes, and the applicant will have a opportunity to rebut limited to 5 minutes, followed by the BZA will close the case to the public, and the Board of Zoning Appeals will make a motion concerning the application stating specific findings of facts and conclusion of law. Just for general information, the agenda for tonight's meeting was appeared in the Newberry Observer on October the 12th. Letters were sent out to the contiguous property owners on October the 18th. A total of 8 letters were sent out. Our first order of business is the possible approval of the minutes of the October the 4th meeting. Gentlemen and lady, state your preference.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the minutes as they were sent to us.
Motion's been made.
I second it, Mr. Chairman.
There's a second by Mr. Hip, I believe it was. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Likewise, none. There's no old business. Y'all have anything to update from last meeting?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Laura, you have anything? Bridget? New business, case number VA 01-11-01-22. A variance request for the relief of the average of the 91-foot setback from the 360 contour of Lake Murray to be 71 feet for a new house. The property is located at 729 Marina Way, Prosperity, South Carolina, tax map number 592-2-24. Mr. Ron.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I may, I'd like to give these out. This came in later today, so we couldn't get in the packet. This is related to the first case that we're hearing tonight. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tonight's first case is 729 Marina Way. The applicant has requested a variance on the setbacks from the waterfront on Lake Murray. The required setback, if you'll turn to Exhibit C in your packet. That setback is measured using the measurement from the 360 of the 2 adjoining houses. And the average between those two is a required setback, which would have been 91 feet. The applicant has requested that the setback be 71 feet because of the location of the septic tank on the land. And that paper I just handed out to you shows that septic tank location and the drain field. And so that's the reason for the request for the variance tonight. And staff recommends the variance tonight as well. So.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Ron? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone here Specifically, the applicant would like to speak in favor of this proposal. Okay. Mr. Redwine by chance?
I'm
I'm
Jason
sorry.
Freeman.
I'm sorry.
Jason Freeman,
Okay.
the owner of the property.
You certainly are. I'm looking at the wrong paper. My apologies.
Gentlemen, ma'am, I thank y'all for giving us an opportunity to discuss this, but I drew that, I drew this, it is as close to scale as I could get it. And we're gonna be pushing right up next to the bottom drain field on our system. We had the system repaired when we moved in because there was a small house on there that was our first plan of action, was to remodel the first house, but it had so many structural issues and just was gonna be a terrible money pit. And so we decided to do a more updated and modern home there. So that's where we've run into. And I appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to possibly get this variance.
Any questions from Mr. Freeman?
Are you planning to demolish or remove the existing house and put this back in basically the
Yeah.
same footprint?
Yes, sir. It has already been removed. It and a small boathouse that was falling in as well has already been removed. So the house that is visible on the GSI map is gone. It was much more than a pallet, a stack of pallets.
Any more questions from Mr. Freeman? Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you.
Anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? Hearing none, the matter is now closed for public discussion. I'd like to call your attention to the finding of facts. Members, I'm going to read through these. If you have a problem with one or any or all of these, speak up. The board is required to consider the following factors per section 153.052A through F of the zoning ordinance. 153.052C, 1 through 5. There are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to a particular piece of property.
Mr. Chairman, I believe it meets all those requirements.
Thank you. These conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity or in that district.
Would agree to that as well.
Because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to a particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict use of the property.
Agree with that, Mr. Chairman.
The authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property or the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by the granting of the variance. And number 5, the effect of the variance will not allow the establishment of a use not otherwise permitted in the zoning district, would not extend physically a non-conforming use of the land, will not change the zoning district boundaries shown on the official zoning map, and also 153.168 setback from the lake shore. Ms. Coleman?
Okay, go ahead. I would say we agree to that, and since they meet the requirements for all of these, I move that we grant the variance.
Motion's been made to grant the requested variance. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And thank you, Freeman's.
Okay, we have 30 days.
Oh, yeah, 30 days. 30 days, right, Ron?
Yes.
30,
Can we apply for the permit?
I don't know the answer to that.
We can apply, but thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next case, case number VA 02-11-01-22. A variance request for the relief of the 25-foot required front yard setback to be 7 foot from the road right-of-way for a new pole building. The property is located at 63 Owl Club Lane, Prosperity, South Carolina, tax map number 653-4-5, and I believe this is off of Living Inn Road. Mr. Ron.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This request is for an 18-foot variance to the 25-foot setback requirement. The 18-foot variance will be 7 foot from the road right of way, so it'll be a total of 18-foot variance. This property has an existing building on it. Excuse me. If I can get you to look at Exhibit D. That bottom photograph shows an existing building that I've been told is going to be demolished. This building is actually closer to the road right-of-way than the proposed building would be. So I want to point that out to you. And also on Exhibit D, the next page, Exhibit E, the next page, it shows the area of the proposed new shop with that bottom corner there circled is the existing old building. And I'm not sure if that building's been demolished yet or not.
It hasn't, we hadn't really decided whether we're definitely we'll try it. We may try to keep it.
So the proposed variance for the new building would actually put the new building back further from the right-of-way than the old existing building is. And, so I wanted to point that out to you. Staff does recommend this variance based on one other reason, and it is that this road, I believe the pavement ends right there at this property. And I don't think it's a very highly traveled road. And that's another reason staff recommends this variance.
Okay, any questions from Mr. Ron? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone here to speak in favor of this proposal? Mr. Redwine.
We were in here, I don't know exactly when, 4 or 5 months ago, and actually got a variance on right next door is where we live, and that's our house is right next door. We got a variance behind our house, a 17-foot or 18-foot variance behind our house. We just, we're gonna build 18 foot off the road. That's called an 18-foot variance, right? Okay, so we did that and we got it passed. We always wanted to build in this lot next door. We've been trying to buy it for 25 years. We've been renting it for 25 years. And we were always supposedly had the first right of refusal to buy it. And we weren't getting any younger and we hadn't had a chance to buy it. So we came in here, decided we'd build our garage behind our house, which we never did want to do that. When I say behind it, toward the road. And we got the variance and we were getting ready to start the plan on building it. And it was going to be some pretty substantial work in the back with a retaining wall or whatever. I decided to call Miss Epton, but that was the owner of the property next door, one more time and tell her that, you know, we really want to buy it and we got the first right of refusal, but we're getting ready to start building next door. And she said, well, go ahead and start. You can build over here. Don't worry about it. You're going to get it. And I said, well, no, Ms. Epton, you don't understand. I can't do that without owning it. So, long story short, we got the variance for next door and y'all approved it. We're not going to use that now. We were able to buy this property. July the 12th, she called me. And long story short, we closed maybe a month ago or so. Or a little bit, maybe 2 months ago. And so we own that property. And so I didn't want y'all to think we were gonna build next door and right there. We're not gonna build next door and right there. And we hadn't decided whether we're gonna keep that building or not, but if it kind of lines straight up with our house, if, from the corner of that building to the house, and we kind of wanted the garage to match the house. And if I did have to come 25 foot off the road, that the road is angled so much right there that if I come 25 foot off the road where I want to start there, on the other side, I'm gonna be like 50 foot from the road of just non-usable. Just got to put gravel there and kind of waste the lot by doing that. And just, and really, like they said, there's only two people. Nobody lives at the end of this road. There's my neighbors that just use it for a summer house, and then there's a blank lot next to them, and then the Sealy's next to them, and then that's it. And there's a lot at the end of that's not big enough to build or anything. So nobody uses the road, other than basically us and two other households down below us. And I reckon that's it.
Any questions for Mr. Redwine?
We had Abraham surveyed it, and I just got, my father passed away Friday, and I just pulled it up, and my printer's out of ink at the house. But anyway, we did get the new survey, and that existing building is on their survey that they did. I don't think it was on that other one.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Redwine? Thank you, sir. Anyone here to speak in opposition to this request? Hearing none, the matter is now closed for the public, before the public. Gentlemen and lady, finding of fact. The board is required to consider the following factors for section 153.052A through F of the zoning ordinance. 153.052C, 1 through 5. There are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to a particular piece of property.
Mr. Chairman, I could concur with that.
Thank you. These conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity or in that district.
Mr. Chairman, I concur with that.
Thank you. Because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to a particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict use of the property.
We accept that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The authorization of the variance will not be a substantial detriment to adjacent property or the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by the granting of the variance. And item number 5, the effect of the variance would not allow the establishment of a use not otherwise permitted in the zoning district, would not extend physically a non-conforming use of the land, would not change the zoning district bounds as shown on the official zoning map. Can we concur on that?
Yes.
Yes, we can, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And also subsection 153-172, lot area width setback requirements as shown in the official zoning table. The chair would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the variance, or grant the variance.
Motion's been made by Mr. Lister,
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
seconded by
Yeah.
Mr. Hipp. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carries unanimously. You have your variance. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
30
See
days.
30 days, see the people in the office.
All right.
Any other business that needs to come before us? Ron, you got anything?
No, anything, Mr. Chairman.
Laurie? Bridget? Mr. Inglesi? No?
It might be a good opportunity to let y'all know that council's considering a text amendment. First reading is scheduled for tomorrow, and that text amendment is going to make solar farms a special exception use in the RQ zone district. So if that is finally approved after third reading, those requests will come to this board for approval for that special exception use.
First reading is tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. All right, thank you. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank y'all for everything you do coming tonight.
Next scheduled meeting, December the 6th. Do we have anything? Bridget, Ron, Lauren? Yes? What's the deadline? Monday, okay.
I'll be out of town December 6th.
Okay. There's really only one possible motion remaining.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move for the adjournment of this.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion is approved by acclamation.
All right,
Thank you, folks.
thank you.